Hey everybody, thank you for watching NibblenFlix, the podcast where snacks meet cinema, and we chew from everything from buttery popcorn to box office buzz. I'm your host, Jeff Fried. Hit the like button to help us get more eyes on this video. And if you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell so you get notified when new content is uploaded to the channel. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the movie One Battle After Another. Is it one of the best movies of the year? Yeah, maybe. Let's talk about it. One Battle After Another is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who directed films such as Licorice Pizza, Amina, Magnolia, and Boogie Nights. The movie is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays Bob Ferguson, or Pat Calhoun, or Gatto, whatever his name is at that particular time, who's a washed-up former member of the revolutionary group known as the French 75. Sean Penn plays Colonel Stephen Lockjaw, who was Bob's nemesis. Tiana Taylor plays Peripheral Beverly Hills, a French 75 member and also the love interest to Bob. Chase Infinity plays Willa Ferguson, who is Bob and Perfidia's daughter. Benicio del Toro plays Sergio San Carlos, who's Willa's sensei and leader of a migrant community. And Regina Hall plays Deandra, another member of the French 75. Bob, a former member of the French 75, a domestic terrorist group, conducted violent acts and now is living in a state of paranoia, surviving off the grid with his daughter Willa. When his evil nemesis resurfaces and Willa goes missing, the former radical scrambles to find her as both father and daughter battle the consequences of their past. I sent him a comment during Warner Brothers' presentation, and man, they're having a great year so far. They actually brought out Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, and Tiana Taylor to talk about the film. They talk about the shooting process, how they had to do to get in characters for this movie. They also showed us a trailer and a couple of extended scenes as well, and it really got me excited to watch this movie, and I couldn't wait till this movie to be released. So if you never watched our videos before, we actually break it down into 3 segments: the good, the bad, and the final verdict. I'll try my best not to put anything too spoilery. I'll give you some details, but not too much. And the reason why is because I really would like to see you guys go out and watch this movie in the movie theater. I think it's one of the films you should watch it. If you guys want to do a spoiler review, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely do it so we can talk about more about this film. Because I think this might be one of the films that people are going to be talking about, so let's get into it. The good. So the good about this movie is the story and how engaging the story is, and also touches a lot of topics that we're actually going through today in the US. But the main focus of this movie is the father and daughter relationship between Bob and Willa. And I like that because it's not trying to push agendas. It's just letting you know that the context is there. And what it does basically is just shows our main characters going through a lot of things. It's kind of like basically what the title is going through one battle after another. And it keeps you engaged with that by showing you what the characters are going through, where you think, okay, we're finally getting something. We're finally getting over a hump. Oh no, there's another hump. There's another big hill. There's another thing that we got to do to basically keep ourselves safe. And I like that a lot because it keeps you engaged and it keeps building tension more and more and more to the point where it's just like, can these characters even survive and make it with all this craziness going on? And that's what I like about the film, that it keeps you engaged. It keeps you on your toes and edge of your seat because everything they're going through, you just don't know what's going to happen. And what I like about this film is that it does not make you try to pick a side. And I can see some people having issues and have some difficult times when it comes to what actually took place with the French 75. And trust me, I was there. We don't condone domestic terrorism of any kind. We don't condone anything that comes to harming people. But the film doesn't tell you that this is the right way to do it or this is the wrong way to do it. It's letting you know that this is what happened, this is the consequences, and these are the characters that are involved. And I like that a lot. I feel that was great. And they did touch about a lot of topics when it comes to the political realm, when it comes to abortion or immigration or human rights or whatever. But it was more like setting up of what the French 75 was actually doing, and not to like where it's trying to tell you, hey, we got to fight for these rights. No, it's letting you know that, hey, these people did some stuff. There's some bad people. And now they got caught up. The police is coming after them. And even with the military police, you see some things they're doing. You kind of like, I don't know if that's right. Like, you got the right paperwork to do that kind of stuff? I don't think you do. Like, you're doing some shady stuff too. And that's what Leslie was trying to say, is not really focusing on those things at all. Like I said, the main focus of this film is Bob and Willa, and I'm happy they did that. And it's kind of like stuff that's going on, but it's like in the background and you see it. And they focus way more on the character and the character development, rather than focusing on the topics that's in hand. And that's what I like about this film. It's not making you or me make a decision if we're right or left. It's basically saying, this is what happened. This is the consequences. Can these characters survive? So the acting in this film is absolutely phenomenal. And it would take me like an hour just to talk about all the major key players in this movie, but everyone did their part fantastic. And it was just another added bonus of this film, where you have everyone, the main characters, the secondary characters, they knew exactly what the assignment was, and they did a masterful job of doing that. I feel like that's what's going to make this movie really good, is just the performances. This is one of the elements of this film that is absolutely superb. Leonardo DiCaprio was absolutely fantastic. No surprises here. I just love when you take on characters like this and roles where he is able to show his range. He can bring all these different elements into the character, and that's what he did with Bob here. And I think that this is why the movie does so well, is because Leonardo DiCaprio can take a character where you see him, and he's a very complex character, and he can do all the things that can make this character compelling. He brings the humor, he brings the dramatic moments, he brings the moments where this character's frustrated because he's just been out of the death for so long. He hasn't been in his lifestyle for a very long time. He just doesn't know what he's doing. And those moments are very funny, because he's a person who's very paranoid. He's just thrown out. He's just like down on his luck. And all he really wants to do is just protect his daughter and stay off the grid. And unfortunately, when the situation comes awry, where his arch nemesis comes to try to get him and his daughter, he doesn't know what he's going to do anymore. And there's times in this movie where they use some humor in this film to actually like either bring down the tension or bring up the tension as well. And there's something that you kind of see in a trailer where he's on the phone. He's actually talking to somebody within the French 75, and they had like this code thing that they're doing. And he just needs to answer the question so he can get some information, so he can make sure him and his daughter are safe. And he's just so fried that he just doesn't remember anything, but he makes those moments very interesting, very fun. And there's times where he plays dramatic moments where he just, he's so disappointed at himself. You can tell he's disappointed in himself. He's not really saying it out loud, but you can tell that he's disappointed in himself for not being the best that he can be as a father to Willa. And I think those scenes are absolutely fantastic. He's not sure if he can protect her, but he's going to go out there and do whatever he can to make sure that he saves his daughter. And I thought those scenes that he had with other characters in his film, that's either with Tiana Taylor's character, that was absolutely fantastic every time they were on screen. Even Chase Infinity playing his daughter Willow was fantastic, and Benicio del Toro as well. Those scenes are very good, very captivating. It shows why you got strong actors working together in a scene, and it make the whole scene better. Sean Penn's character, Colonel Stephen Lockjaw, was absolutely flawless. I love how Sean Penn plays this character. He shows his character in so many different ways, and just like Leonardo DiCaprio showing the character, bringing so many elements into the character where you see the range of the character. You see him at their high time, you see at their low time. He brings humor into it. Times he's very menacing, very terrifying, because he's a very cold-hearted character. He just doesn't care. He has the agenda, and he wants to meet the agenda. He doesn't care about anything else, and he just wants that to be satisfied. And you see this in the movie where he would take lengths to do whatever he needs to do to reach that. And I thought that was the kind of type of villain you need in this film to make everything believable, like what's going on. And when it comes to his quirks and his fetishes that he's into, and even with the physical way that Sean Penn played him, like his name is Lockjaw. He put that into the movie. You see the physical elements that he put into it. He really put a lot into this character, and it was just captivating watching him on screen, because sometimes you look at him and you're like, this dude is like off. It's like weird. This is weird dude. And then the next moment you're like, oh my God, this dude is terrifying. He just doesn't care. He will do whatever he needs to do to get what he wants to get. And that's why I think Sean Penn plays this character absolutely phenomenal. And he's the perfect villain for this movie. Chase Infinity playing Willa Ferguson was absolutely fantastic in this film. I knew that this was her first feature film. I know she did like TV shows, but this is my first introduction to her, and I was absolutely blown away by her performance in this film. She was able to meet the levels of Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, and Sean Penn, and when it came to certain scenes, and she was just able to show and bring this character to life, where this girl is just trying to live her best life. She doesn't have the best upgrading. She doesn't know her mom. She wants to know who her mom is. She's disappointed in her father, knowing that he can do more, but he's not, and because he's down on himself. So she's trying to make everything work for herself and her father. And you see this character just grow and grow throughout the movie. And she has to, because her life is on the line. And you see her in situations that this makes her just absolutely flawless when it comes to her being this character. You have a soft spot for her once you meet her. You understand what's going on. And she's able to meet those levels to where you just want to see the best for her and you just want to see her survive. And I thought Chase Infinity did an amazing job. Like I said before, she was able to just meet the levels of her counterparts in this film. And I really hope that she gets more opportunities to play different roles. And if she blew me away with this, no telling what she can do. She's a future superstar, and I just can't wait to see her more movies in the future. The cinematography in this film is absolutely beautiful, and it really didn't matter what kind of shot it was. It seems like they put a lot of thinking process of how they want each scene to look like and how creative they were going to do it. Because it didn't matter if it was a wide shot or it was a close-up to trying to show tension or dialogue, a certain angle when it comes to some action, cowboy shot, like whatever. It seemed like they perfectly placed the camera where it needs to be to actually explain and illustrate exactly what they were trying to portray in those scenes. And it works. It's absolutely like beautiful. There's a scene in this movie where it takes place in the desert. So it's a long scene, but this is one scene with two characters just talking, and you get this beautiful wide shot. And it's in standard too. It's not like that fishbowl look. It's like standard, but it's a wide shot, and it's like one of the most gorgeous shots I've ever seen. Even though the characters in that scene were playing some horrible stuff, but the shot alone was absolutely gorgeous. And the way they used these shots was just so creative. And they have a car chase scene in this movie, and we've seen tons of car chases in the movie, like tons. We already know most of the time how are they gonna shoot this, and sometimes they kind of get us, kind of excited a little bit, how they use the camera on the car sometimes, and we've seen tons of it. But this movie takes a car chase scene to a new level, to where I never thought they were ever used before. And this scene where there's rarely any dialogue at all in this car chase scene, and they use music. And man, the music in this movie is absolutely fantastic and flawless. But for this scene alone, they use the music and the creativity of putting the camera on the car, and you actually know where it's like on the bottom of the car, and they're going up these rolling hills. And it's just building tension, which each hill over and over, just building stronger and stronger with no dialogue. This is basically characters chasing each other, and is probably the most creative car chase I've ever seen. And that scene alone is for price of admissions. It's just the intensity and what is going down in that scene is just absolutely exhilarating. And if I can recommend anyone to see this movie just for that scene alone, I'll tell them, look, you've probably seen millions of car chase scenes, but you never see a car chase scene like this before, because it's absolutely beautiful. But it seemed like they just knew exactly what they were doing in this whole entire film when they were building the story out, how they were using the characters performing their roles, the way they shot the film, the music that were using certain times of the film. It just feels like they knew exactly what they were doing. Not saying this movie is absolutely perfect, but I'm saying the thought process of putting this movie together was absolutely flawless, because it feels like they knew exactly what they were trying to do, and they hit it in majority of the film. And that's not easy to do. That's hard to get the shot right, get the actors right, and get the score right. All that and hoping that scene works. They just do it time and time again, and this is why this film is so enjoyable to watch. So the bad about this film is the beginning of the film, and it's not really bad. It's basically how you're going to perceive it. Either you're going to like it or you're not going to like it, and either way is absolutely fine. For me, at first I was like, I don't like this, but I was able to detach myself and look at it as character development, basically world building, to show that what happens in these scenes are going to be consequences later on in the film. And if you can do that, that's great. And if you can't, that's fine too. I completely understand the topic that we're doing, the subjects that we're doing, and the things that was going on in this film. It's very touchy because some of the stuff is going on in today's world. And what I said earlier too, that they don't linger on it, they don't focus on it. It is basically building up the story of the character, and they move along from it. However, if you feel a certain way about it and you're upset, best thing I can say is to just be patient with the film, because it's not going to sit there for long and it's going to move on. And it's okay if you don't like it, because I had trouble too. I have family in the military, and they see stuff like this. So yes, I will totally understand if you're having difficulties watching the first 15-20 minutes of this film and what they're doing for character development, because it is touchy. But best I can say is to be patient with the film and let it get to the point where the actual story is really going on. And the last thing about this film that could be looked at as a negative, and that's the runtime. The runtime is like 2 hours and 42 minutes. And I can see someone saying they could be shorter, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. For me, however, it's hard for me to really look at which scenes that I would like to shave down more, like more than 1 minute or so. Maybe 30 seconds here, 10 seconds here, they could have shaved off. But there's really no scenes in the movie I can actually point out and say, hey, they could have dropped like 3 minutes out of this. They didn't need this. You kind of needed everything for this film, because there's so much going on. And so many like twists going on as well too, that you kind of need everything. So it's fleshed out thoroughly to the point where you understand where every character is at, where they're at that particular time. And it only makes sense when everything is kind of woven together. And you kind of need that time to express and develop all those things, develop those characters to the point where you understand exactly what's going on towards the end of the film. However, I can see some people looking at their watch saying, man, this movie's still going on, blah, blah, it's too long. The scene is taking too long. But for me, I think everything they were trying to do, like building intensity in certain scenes, the dialogue of the characters, what they're trying to build with the characters, anything like that, I don't see it as, maybe they could have used 5 minutes rather than taking out the 10 to 15 minutes. But for someone else who's like not really totally enjoying the film, or they just kind of getting restless because it is a long film, maybe they could have took out like 10 to 15 minutes. But like I said before, I don't know what scenes they can actually, I can't pinpoint what scenes they can actually shave off time, because I feel like they were woven pretty well. So the final verdict. So I would score this film 5 out of 5 snacks. And that's because this movie does everything it needs to do, especially when it starts off with the story. The story is so engaging. It basically pieces everything together to where you got all these stuff going. You got so much stuff going on, but somehow they wove it so easily into this perfect web to where it all centers into all the characters in the middle, and you understand where the characters are at, why they're doing what they're doing, their agenda and everything. And I thought that was this master class when it came to the script. When it came to the actors, the performances from everybody was absolutely superb. I still can't believe, I'm mind blown how well Chase Infinity did in this film, matching up the levels of Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn. She was absolutely flawless in this film, and I can't wait to see more of her. Leonardo DiCaprio, like I said before, when you give him these type of characters, are very complex, and he's able to show all the different types of like ability of ranges that he has for a character. He just makes it so like seamlessly that is just makes you engage with the character more, to where you understand where he's at, and he has so many different elements to him. He just makes him such a deeper character. And the same thing goes to Sean Penn when he does that too with his character. Even what he is, he knows what his agenda is. He's a stone cold person. He's menacing. He's terrifying. But he still has different elements about him that makes him more lighthearted, but also terrifying at the same time. I thought Sean Penn was absolutely fantastic with that. Cinematography of this film is absolutely gorgeous. What they did with the shots, it seemed like they took their time with every scene in order to try to understand exactly what they were trying to do in those scenes and actually accomplish those things. Either it was like a wide shot or close up, or a certain angle on a vehicle during a car chase scene, and that was like the best car chase scene, as I said earlier. And the music that they used to make those scenes even better. I feel like they put the time and the process to understand exactly what they're doing. The editing as well. Whoever edited this film did a fantastic job. They knew exactly what they were doing. They understand the tone, and they got it. I'm telling you right now, guys, this movie might be the best movie of the year. I still have Sinners as up there as #1. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure this out. Maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, I'll have a different story or a different idea of what the best film is. But this is definitely up there. Like I gotta do 1A, 1B, and I still don't know who's 1A, 1B right now between Sinners and this film. And I gotta say, like, Warner Brothers, kudos to Warner Brothers this year. Like, you guys are putting out some great content. To even have 2 films to be mentioned as the best films of the year is quite an accomplishment, and I'm just super excited to see what else they do for the rest of this year and what they do in 2026, because it seems like Warner Brothers is actually understanding how to make cinema, and everything they've been doing has been like a knockout. Even the films that don't get critically received well, for some reason, either they're making a lot of money or they're getting high critic scores from the audience as well. So whatever they're doing over there, keep doing it. You guys are just knocking it out of the park right now. But other than that, guys, like I said before, this movie is going to be talked about at the end of the year. I can see a lot of Oscar buzz being thrown toward this film, and I hope it does. I think it definitely deserves it when it comes to story, the performances from the actors, and how this movie was shot and directed. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for this movie to win some awards this year. But let me know in the comment section below. Did you see the movie yet? If you haven't seen it yet, are you going to see it? And if you did, what do you think about the film? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? And if you guys are interested, do you want me to do a spoiler? I can go into deep. I want to so bad, because there's just so much that happened in this film that I just don't want to spoil it for you guys. I want you to go enjoy it. Go to the movie theater. See this movie. This is a cinematic film. This is what cinematic movies is all about. This is what going to the movie theaters is all about. Is movies like this. Just go enjoy it. Have some fun. And if you guys want to do spoiler talk, let's talk, and we can talk some spoilers. But other than that, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you watching this video. And until then, keep munching, keep watching, and keep it real. And I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye.